Hi there guys, Sam here. Welcome to another video where I go through why a VW Golf R is all the car you will need, and this is part 3. So I'll get straight into the video really. So yes, if you're not familiar with the other videos as part of this series, please check them out. Please do check out part 1 and part 2 of this series, as it will make more sense for this video. So please check that out, and I'll leave a link in the description to those videos too. But yes, I'll get straight into this one. And again, if you're not familiar with my channel, I have a VW Golf R. I've owned it for about 3 years, and this is sort of part 3 on why it's the car, all the car you'd ever need, the Golf R. And in part 3 I kind of really wanted to talk about the affordability of the car, mainly talking about my ownership experience, and a lot of my subscribers, a lot of you guys subscribe to the channel, know so much about it, and how I really do think it's a genuinely affordable car for most people, and something that you can also aspire to get and to kind of drive you onto your goals as well. So yeah, on the affordability side, my car in particular is a 6-speed manual, but what I've found throughout my ownership is that it's been very cost effective in the economy side of things. MPG's always been good. On a really long trip, I've managed to get about 500 miles out of a tank. It's a 55-litre tank in the Golf R. That's about 46 miles per gallon. On average, I'll always tend to be in the high 30s, sometimes get into the 40 mile per gallons on kind of a combined, if I've generally just been doing motorway journeys, which I tend to do. And even if you're really giving it some and having some fun, it tends to not drop to like single digits unless you're really stupid and it's on a really cold day. It's actually very economical, particularly for what it is. You know, you've got to bear in mind this is a 4-wheel drive, 300 brake horsepower car, so it's not going to be the best. And to be honest with you, in 6th gear with a manual gearbox, particularly when you're cruising at 70 miles an hour, it's revving quite high, about 2800 RPM. I did talk to someone on Instagram about this who also had a Golf R. They had a 7-speed DSG. They were getting sort of 40 miles per gallon, and it was generally due to the fact that you're revving less. So if you have the DSG, you're probably going to get slightly more economy on longer drives and longer cruises. And that really does help, particularly if you want something to use as a daily. People keep forgetting about miles per gallon. If you want this car to sort of stay in your garage and be, your sort of toy on the weekend, that's fine. You're not really going to care about MPG, and I get that. But if you do want to use this car as a daily, which is kind of what this 3-part series is kind of about, economy matters. And all I can tell you is it is really economical. It does depend very much how you drive. If you have a heavy foot and you rev it to the red line all the time, no, you're not going to get 40 miles per gallon ever. But if you just cruise it and you just chill out and you relax, I don't want to get all stressed out when I'm driving to work, so I give myself plenty of time and I just cruise down really. I don't really care. It's in eco, listen to music, job done, and it does the job for me. On the other parts of kind of the affordability side of it, servicing has always been fine. I've serviced it at a main VW dealer. I think I've paid for the first service or two sort of anywhere. I think the first service was about £200. Second one was about £250. So it's not really too bad. I have got a major service coming up, i.e. in the next about 5 days after this video actually. I do need to get that booked in probably once more things are clear in terms of COVID and stuff in the UK, but that will certainly be getting booked in the next month or two, and I don't really expect that to be costing me too much money. Maybe it might cost me £350 to £400 at an absolute top end for the Haldex service, but ultimately this is a major service, so it's not going to come around every single year. Parts as well, you've got to remember this is a VW that has been sold tremendously well across the world and in the UK. It uses standard Mark 7 parts across most of it, because they do. It's got an engine which is used in so many different cars, the EA 888 engine. It makes me feel a little bit safe if there's anything wrong with the engine, because it's used in Skodas, it's used in Audis, it's used in VWs, it's used in Porsche Macans. It's really well used engine, and it's rock solid, it's bulletproof, it's a great car. They're using it in the latest generation of their Golf R as well, and I'm sure it's going to be on other products too, so you're kind of safe with that engine as well, which is important. You don't want to be broken down the side of the road all the time, and this car is pretty good at not letting that happen, and I'm sure a lot of my subscribers kind of vouch for that in the comments below as well. Affordability is quite important, and this is probably more around the Mark 7 than the Mark 8. Mark 8 is going to be quite expensive, around about 40, the high £30,000, 36, 37, £38,000 to be able to buy a Mark 8 Golf R, which I get is not the cheapest car to get in this day and age. But if you look at a Mark 7s, we're in sort of the start of June 2020, you can pick a really good, well looked after example from anywhere between 20 to 25,000 pounds, and I think that's really good value. It's a car that can kind of do you well, and it will look after you at the same time. Also, having quite a lot of VW dealerships dotted around does help, and there's also a lot of VW specialists, and a lot of people who have a lot of knowledge about these cars. And every single time I've spoken to people, whether it's been Auto Glass who's been fixing my windscreen, or if I've just been getting a wheel alignment somewhere, they've all said to me how bulletproof they found VW Golfs in general. They've said, oh, it's really easy for us to do this. Oh, this would be a nightmare to do on this car, blah, blah, blah. This would take me ages. And that's a really good thing. That is what you want as a daily car. And you also want it to look after your wallet as well. Residuals generally are pretty solid on VWs. They are good. There are a lot of Golf Rs out there to choose from, which doesn't always help with making it hold its value to like the top end, but it does maintain a lot of its residuals. For me, it's cost me a lot less than my Fiesta ST, simply because the ST, it depreciated a lot more. That was the main reason. And that is really important, and I'm sure it's important to you guys as well. So yes, that's kind of part 3 of the video around the affordability. Let me know your thoughts in the comments around that as well, just to gauge your kind of thoughts on it also. But yeah, I hope you've kind of enjoyed this 3-part series. Give it a like if you have, and I'll certainly try and do more types of videos like this going forward. But regardless, plenty more content on the channel to come, and yeah, plenty to look forward to as well. But yeah, check back on previous videos if you'd like, and don't forget to check out part 1 and part 2 of this little series around why the VW Golf I is all the car you need. So thanks so much for watching. That's the end of this little 3-part series. I really hope you've enjoyed it. Have a fantastic rest of your day, and I will see you again next time. Thanks so much for watching. Cheers, guys.